Going on, guys? Just now getting up. It's like 11 a.m. But we got a lot going on today. We have at 3 p.m. A sales call, and then at 4 p.m. I'm going to be interviewing somebody that's going to be one of my sales managers. She's going to be playing a very important role in my company that I believe is going to help me get to $500,000 plus in profit a year. This is what I need, right? Because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm at like $250,000 profit a year in my online business, and I'm not comfortable there. I honestly just don't like what I make. I want to make more. I know I can make more. I've seen other people do it. I know people in my own circle, people that I talk to every day, doing 50,000 a freaking week. So if that's possible for them, I know I can grow my company and scale it there too. I have the systems. I have everything I need to put in place. I would say the only thing holding me back is ad spend, right? Which one of my plans right now is to get a loan, like a very large loan, maybe 50,000, 100,000, and then just pour all that into advertisement. Because based on my business model, for every $4,000 I invest in ads, I make around $25,000 in revenue. So that's about $20,000 profit a month. And me knowing that, I understand the system. I have everything set up. I'm building a team right now, building a sales team. So like if any of you guys are operators or own an agency or own a company that's online, I really do advise you to actually start building out a team. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm building out systems for them to just run and operate on a daily basis, and it'll just all be seamlessly integrated to where we're all on the same page and we're all aligned on a daily basis. Because if we're not aligned, then nothing's gonna get done, or things are gonna get, maybe things will be miscommunicated. But what I'm doing here is building a system where nothing can be miscommunicated, because everything will be there in the system inside of our Flow Commerce headquarters platform. Which we'll talk more about later. I will make a video eventually on how to build your own system and really like how to develop it for your home base, like the people that work in your company. That way everyone can stay aligned, everybody knows what they need to do, everybody knows what the priority tasks are. And it gets even deeper than that. I'm just giving you surface level, but it's really just aligning everybody together as a team and seamlessly integrating everyone into one platform so everybody's moving at the same rhythm in a sense. Nothing's being overlooked. Everything that needs to be done is getting done. And that's the main purpose and goal of building a team, is you're now no longer yourself, right? Because when you're a business owner, it's just you. It's literally just you. So you have to learn how to work with other people and lead other people, because as a business owner, you now have to be a leader. So you then have to start becoming a leader and acting like a leader. And it's not easy to just instantly overnight be a leader, right? But that's what learning is for. You have YouTube, books, you can read about that. I recommend some, like there's one called How Successful People Think by John C. Maxwell. It's actually this right here. Let me show you. This book right here. This really breaks down the main principles of how highly successful people think. So if you're watching this, I really recommend this book. If you're in a position where you need to start becoming more of a leader because you have people around you that you have to lead, or you have a business and you need to start hiring, this would be a great way to just start embodying that person. But anyways, guys, here's what I did today. As you can see right here, we're up $1,000 so far today. All right, just so you know, it's not a screenshot. You can move everything around. There you go. We actually do this business. So yeah, it's not that bad, honestly. I mean, it's only $1,000. We're striving for more, obviously. We're trying to make like 10,000 in a day. That's what we're aiming for. Like, that's really my goal, to start having $10,000 days. So $1,000 today though, not bad. No advertising, so that's all straight profit. And yeah, we're up today. God bless. And we're gonna keep cranking workout. I mean, we got a whole day left, and I'm already up $1,000. So let's see what the rest of the day has ahead of us. And that's how you start the day. I'm trying to find a spot to park. Now, I will say this. I am the king of finding spots to park in the city. I'm the king of it. Regardless, whether I have to pay or not, I always find a spot. Like, always. And people drive around and left and right trying to find places. No, dude, like, you're going to see within the next, I would say within the next 60 seconds, 60 to 120 seconds. All right, so give me a minute or two. I will find a spot before even the car in front of me. So, what did I say? Found me a nice little spot. Nice little spot right here.
I see him. You made this?
Like a word bank, not a word bank, but a bank of responses for different types of responses that you could just kind of like go back into, copy, paste if someone responds this. So we're building out that system today. That'll be done tonight. But essentially, yeah, like everything I can teach you, I can train you on how our service works, like the service we sell. I can teach you that entire thing. Honestly, that's really easy to do. Because it's not hard. The system's really easy. It's Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and it's just hiring virtual assistants to do product research, finding you winning products, and then you'll understand it more. Which you'll send me your schedule, and then I'll just find times within it where you and I can just get on a call, go over the system, and then also go over the follow-up messages and what to send to each follow-up, and then. Yeah, we're all going to be inside the one platform Notion. So you'll be able to then see tasks, assignments, who they're assigned to, things of that nature. That way it's more organized there. But yeah, everything you're pretty much asking for, I can definitely provide for you this week. Like you said, though, you got to give me your schedule and we'll just start from there. And then, yeah, for at least that sales at the end of the sales call at the end of the month, definitely would be super helpful regardless, just having you there. So yeah, that's why I got to train you on that as well. And I'll train you even more. Like I want you to understand it at the level I do. In the next 10 days, you're going to be an e-com expert. So yeah, that's my goal. So maybe you can even use the knowledge yourself. and yeah, so you get something out of it. You get pretty much a free mentorship for me getting someone to become one of my mentees. And I'll be able to help them. I know as long as you can close them, I know I can help them regardless with the Spanish or not, because a lot of the things that people need help with are usually just quick little questions. I can conversate in Spanish. It's just when it comes to very complex stuff, I usually need some help, but I'm training myself so I can become better, so I can service people 100% in Spanish, without needing. But the thing is though, like, if you become an expert, this thing ends up working out very well. Maybe you become a coach in our program for Latin people too. And that, because that's the thing, like with other programs, when they scale, they end up high only number. Yeah, you can text me anytime. Again, don't be afraid to ever text me, hit me up. I don't get bothered. I do not get annoyed. That's like one of the big things people always say is like, well, I don't want to bother you. I'm like, dude, if bothering me means we're going to make a lot of money, bother the crap out of me. Like, it could be 2 a.m. If you have a question at 2 a.m. that's important, I will respond. I do not care about the time. Whew, man, so what a day. Pretty, I would say, not like as busy as I usually like it to be, but definitely gave me enough time to be able to complete a lot of back-end tasks. Because as you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, currently building out some systems for another part of our company, which is going to be our sales agency for another offer that we're building out right now. But yeah, man, really just wanted to stop in and kind of give you guys some mindset stuff, right? I feel with my vlog series, the main focus, obviously, if you guys watched from episode 1, is to really help transition people's mindset into becoming an entrepreneur, because not everybody has what it takes mentally, or not everybody's prepared mentally yet for what's going to come with starting a business, and being an entrepreneur. So I wrote some notes down Just some of my thoughts from reading a book called How Successful People Think by John C. Maxwell. Now, the first thing is 99% of people live paycheck to paycheck. I need you guys to really understand that and listen to me right now. The 99% of people are the masses. Everybody in the United States, 99% of them don't make over $200,000, $300,000, or even $400,000 a year. What they consider high income is $400,000 a year, $500,000 a year, even $250,000 a year is considered a pretty high income if you're doing that. But this is where you need to start changing your level of thinking, right? This is where you really have to start understanding those are just average numbers. Now, if you want to live an average life, then yeah, sure, look at $200,000 is a lot of money. Look at $300,000 is a lot of money. But I need you to understand, once you start getting into rooms where people are doing that in a month, then you start to realize there's a lot more out there for you to work, for you to earn, and for you to win, right? And those are called limited belief systems, by the way. When you limit yourself into thinking bigger, you put yourself in a box, in a small box, and thinking like everybody else. If you think like the masses, think about it. Everybody goes to college, gets a safe career, and then only makes max $150,000 a year, on a bare minimum, maybe $40,000 a year. That's not enough to sustain a comfortable living, live your dream life, be able to afford the investments that you want to put your money into. It's just not enough, right? The cost of living has gone up. The government keeps printing money, so the value of the dollar keeps going down. So every single year, you're not increasing your income. You're actually losing income if you're staying at the same job or at the same salary. This is reality of it. So I need you guys to start adopting a non-popular belief system, because the popular belief system is rooted in safety. So if you think average, you're going to get average results. If you think about, rooting yourself into safety, you're only going to, make a certain amount of money, because you're only going to look for what's comfortable and what's easiest for you to attain, versus getting yourself uncomfortable and trying to attain a goal so far away, so large that people around you start thinking you're crazy, thinking you're delusional. But that's because they put themselves in a box. So don't allow others to put you in a box if you want to do more with your life. If you want to live a life that's different than the people around you, like if you look around you and you see these people and they're not living the life you want to live, they're not living the lifestyle you want to live, they don't have the things that you want, they don't have the cars that you want, they don't have the income that you want, that you truly want, you're going to have to start thinking beyond them. You're going to start thinking bigger than them. It doesn't make you bigger than them. It just means you aspire to do different things. Your goals may just not align. And that's okay. It's okay to have friends like that, by the way. It's okay to have friends that maybe don't want to strive to have everything in the world, right? Maybe they don't want to make $300,000 in a month. Some people just want to make that in a year. Sometimes some people's goal is just to make $150,000 a year. So that's kind of what I've learned a lot. Now, here's some of the solutions, though. I want you guys to really challenge your belief system and go against it. Go against what the masses taught you. Go against what your parents taught you. Go against the grain. Because that's where I've learned to appreciate how hyper successful people think. Because if you study any hyper successful person that's multimillionaire, they're going to tell you the same thing. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Do the complete opposite. Just don't do what they're doing. Don't follow their lead, because they're obviously not living and doing the things that you want to do. That's the other part, right? Is to start really, I would say appreciating how people who are very successful think, because you will start to notice they do think differently than those that are around you, or than the 99% of people, the masses. They think differently. It's opposite of herd mentality. It's having your own structured way of thinking for yourself, questioning everything. That's another thing too. Don't just believe everything you see on TV. Don't just believe everything that your parents tell you or that your professors or teachers told you. Question the belief system. Start going against it. Start looking at the belief system of the people that are super successful and what do they believe, right? What are their thoughts? How do they train themselves to think? And I guarantee you their belief system and their way of thinking and their thought process is completely opposite than the masses, than 99% of people. Just being honest. So another thing too is learning from failures. Right? Learning from failures make you teachable. So don't give up. If you want to get into business and you fail your first time, don't give up, because if you give up, then you quit, then you lose. But if you don't give up, if you learn from your failures and you take those failures and you dissect them and you see what went wrong, and then you cover those cracks in that system that went wrong, that way, next time you go ahead and do it again, it doesn't happen. That's called learning from your failures. So that's another thing too. Not everybody has what it takes to keep going, to learn from their failures. A lot of people, once they fail, they give up. And that's the mentality that you got to remove from yourself. You can't allow yourself to accept defeat. If you want to last long in entrepreneurship and business, you have to literally keep going. From every failure, from every loss, you have to learn from it. You have to move forward. You have to readjust, reduce risk, learn from whatever happened, re-strategize, and get back in the game. If you don't do that, then yes, you're going to fail, you're going to quit, and you're going to think every business model is risky and you're never going to try again. Imagine because of one failure, the next 20 years of your life stays the same. Because you decided, oh, I failed at this thing. I'm never going to do it again. I'm never going to invest my money. I'm never going to risk my money again anymore. What good does that do you? Learn from your failures and keep spending your money and investing into your business model. Don't just give up after one try. Keep going, readjust, re-strategize, keep moving forward. That's probably the best piece of advice that you can get from this video too, by the way, because success isn't easy. If it was easy, everybody would be successful. That's why there's something called the 1%, because 99% of people can't do what 1% are doing. And that's continuing to move on, moving forward, learning from their lessons, re-strategizing, and continuously failing forward until they finally succeed. You're gonna find success. It's just a matter of time, and it's a matter of learning from the lessons and the losses, and then applying what you learn, and you're gonna get better each time. So I'd be sitting here lying to you if I were to say you're never going to experience losses in business. Over the next 20 years of your life, you're going to experience a lot of failures, a lot of losses. And maybe they're miniature failures, maybe they're minor failures, maybe not extremely like crazy failures, like your whole business shutting down. Regardless though, even if that were to happen, if your business were to shut down, you can start over again. You can start at a new platform. You can start in the same business model, but a new platform, a new strategic way of going about it. You can learn. There's always a lesson to learn from a loss. So it's never really considered a loss, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's never really considered a loss if you can learn from the lessons and you can gain from it. So that's another thing too, going into business and entrepreneurship, you literally have to train yourself mentally to think that way because it's gonna happen. Now, another thing too, try a lot of things, take a lot of chances, right? Maybe you fail one business model after 6-7 tries, move on to another business model too. I mean, you can't stop trying to build businesses. You have to keep going. That's another one too. While the first point I made, if it keeps on failing and it just doesn't seem like it's for you, move on to a different business model, of course, but don't give up. Don't stop building businesses. Don't stop trying out new things or taking chances on things because you never know which one's actually gonna hit, which one's gonna work for you. And then one more thing is I wanna talk about focused thinking. Now, I have to bring out my book for this because I do have some notes. It's on page 13. Talk about focused thinking. Let's see. So it says here, let me see what was the exact point that I wanted to bring. It's true that focusing on a single idea for a long time can be very frustrating. I've often spent days focusing on a thought and trying to develop it, only to find out that I could not improve the idea. But sometimes my perseverance and focused thinking pays off. That brings me great joy. And when focused thinking is at its best, not only does the idea grow, but so do I. That's so true. And focused thinking is just going to require you to find a place where you could be quiet, where you could just think on the ideas, think on what you wanted to get done and the things you need to do, and just really zone in on those thoughts and ideas and really focus on them and how you're going to get there. You need to create clarity, right? Focused thinking brings clarity to the target. I consider golf one of my favorite hobbies. It's a wonderfully challenging game. I like it because the objectives are so clear. Professor William Mobley of the University of South Carolina made the following observation about golf. One of the most important things about golf is the presence of clear goals. You see the pins, you know the par. It's neither too easy nor attainable. You know your average score, and there are competitive goals. Competitive with par, with yourself, and others. These goals give you something to shoot at in work, as in golf, goals motivate. So setting up goals for yourself, setting up realistic goals, setting up even unattainable goals right now. Things that seem so far away that don't seem attainable, set that goal up. And then also go into the attainable goals. Some of it might be your first $1,000, your first $10,000, whichever that first minor goal that does feel attainable to you, write it down as well. Now, no one achieves greatness by becoming a generalist. You don't own a skill by diluting your attention to its development. The only way to get to the next level is to focus. The immature mind hops from one thing to another, while the mature mind seeks to follow through. That is a crazy point, actually. Because a lot of people have that shiny object syndrome and move on to the next thing. Someone who's very mature, they're going to stick to one challenge. They're going to stick to one business model, and they're going to master it through the failures, through the losses. They're going to figure it out, and they're going to own that skill and then create another revenue stream, which may be another business model. But I never suggest just moving on, having shiny object syndrome. Oh, I think this might be easier, and then jumping on that. No, stick to one thing and see it out all the way through and follow through with it. Follow through with the plan, follow through with your word, and follow through what you first started in doing. And I promise you, you're going to see success. I appreciate you guys. This is the end of the vlog. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed.